guys, Rapper back, and yeah, today we're gonna be taking a look at scenario. What if World War 3 broke out? Before we start, this is 80% unrealistic video. I mean, it could happen, but hopefully it won't. So how it would start? Probably with Russia and Ukraine. So yeah, I'll just quickly do these islands with one. Okay, done. Right, took me about 18 hours. So I'm just gonna quickly do the current day borders. I think they're like something like that. We'll go from there. Okay, so at this point in the war, Russia's like, right, we kind of need to mobilise our whole military, because if you don't know, they're only mobilised at a quarter. So they mobilise like pretty much their full military, and they start a push for Kyiv. As well as that, they launch a few missiles, and one of them hits Poland. Yeah, one of them hits Poland, and yeah, that's not good. That's not good. For Russia anyway. So Poland joins the war. If you don't know, Article 5 for NATO is if any NATO country gets attacked, then, well, every other NATO country has to come to the aid. Just realised, why is there East and West Germany? What the fuck? Problem solved? I think this is like just after. No, why is that? Anyway, I don't care. Yeah, all of NATO is going to come to the aid, so one sec, I'll just be about 8 hours whilst I colour everything in. I'm rapping right now, hold on. Okay. With how fast I was, and with the power of editing, we've done it. All of NATO, and I have included French Guiana because how good I am. Yeah, all of NATO. Let me know if I missed anyone join the war. Belarus was forced to join the war by Russia, and that was, expected. And we see some other people joining the side of Russia. There's just hello? There we go. Kazakhstan, Mongolia. Actually, I don't really know much about Mongolia, but I'm just going to say Russia kind of forced them into it. Iran, Egypt. This is just to my knowledge, by the way. Also, I think this is like a map of I don't know, 2008 or something. Because there's a lot of stuff I've never seen in the world before. Like, what is that? Anyway, North Korea, China, just because there's tensions between North and South. And China, is Russia and North Korea's ally. South Korea joins inside of NATO, as well as Japan. If Japan didn't join, a missile would have accidentally hit him anyway. Taiwan and the Philippines as well. And then an obvious one down here would be Australia. Who else should join the side of Russia? I think India would stay neutral, even though I think this is like a contested zone. They'll stay neutral. However, Pakistan joins the sides of Russia and China, as well as Afghanistan, and then this would stay neutral. Georgia would join the side of NATO. I believe this is Turkey's ally, and then I don't know what to do with that, so we'll leave it. Israel, a ally of the USA, would join the side of thingy. Palestine would join the side of Russia. I think I'm not going to include BRICS because, as a lot of you know, that is not a military alliance. That is a economic alliance. You know what? India seeing Pakistan join the war and all this contested zone, they would join the side of NATO. However, they have like increased relations with Russia recently, but like, you know, China and Pakistan being on the same team as India would be a bit sus. So yeah, Vietnam would join the side of USA. Strangely, that's a weird thing to say. I think I've covered everything. I would think New Zealand would stay neutral. Mexico would not want to mess. Oh, Cuba. Cuba. Yeah. And the Panama Canal, whatever it's called, I don't know. No, that's what they control. Yeah, they know USA is going to come from, so they just join. Is that everything? Let me know if I've missed anything in the comments, but I believe I've done everything. Maybe like Algeria would join the red team. Well, we're just gonna leave them, and maybe Libya would as well. Morocco may join the... Nah, we'll leave it. Okay, this is the war we're looking at. Okay, so Poland would swiftly take Kaliningrad and start a push into Belarus. NATO forces haven't arrived yet, so this, you know, is still on the way. NATO forces, however, are like arriving at Ukraine, and they slowly start pushing back Russia. But Russia makes some more gains over here with the help of Belarus. Over here, Russia makes some gains into Georgia and Azerbaijan, or like, I don't really know what that country's called, but they fully take that with the help of Iran. Eventually, the country of Georgia capitulates and they start pushing into Turkey. I forgot about Cyprus actually. It's not northern and southern Cyprus. I think they would join the blue team, I think. Down here, it's just, yeah, sorry, Palestine would be taken, and Israel would start slowly pushing into Egypt, and then Egypt would push back, and then there's just a stalemate on the border. Over here, India makes some gains into Pakistan, and we're going to ignore mountains because geography sucks. India, we're just going to leave that zone, I think. Oh, what? Elizabeth. Yeah, we're going to leave that zone. I mean, in the peace treaty, I'll include it probably, but I forgot about Bangladesh. I think they'll join the side of a red team. I don't know a lot about Bangladesh, but I'm pretty sure like they have beef with India. So yeah. But India would also start pushing into Bangladesh. But Bangladesh have a massive population for how small their country is. So there'll be like a lot of soldiers, like people forced to become soldiers. But they don't have, you know, the resources and like all that type shit. North Korea, with the help of Chinese troops, started pushing to South Korea, and then Japanese and American troops arrive and stop the advance. Taiwan's holding off. There's already military bases in Taiwan, from America, and also with the help of Philippines. China starts to push into northern Vietnam, all awfully similar of what happened, I think, in real life. Not good. Anyway, we're done with Asia, I think. Actually no, there's a lot of mountains here, but I said I was gonna ignore them. So, China starts pushing into India, and with the help of Pakistan, they start taking over this contributed region. Now, like, most of the NATO forces have arrived, so they start to push back Russia and take back Kyiv, and they keep on pushing back Russia from mainland Ukraine. They pushed back Belarusian forces, almost taking the whole country. Russia takes all of... I'm so sorry. I always forget these 3 countries. I know one's Estonia, one's Lithuania, and one's something else. I'm sorry, I always forget. So yeah. I think this is Estonia. I'm not really sure, but yeah, Russia takes all 3 countries because like they don't really have a military, and they take back Kaliningrad. And that happens over like a few months, and whilst that's going on, they also push back in Belarus. But NATO forces officially start invading into Russian mainland. So that's cool. Down here, just still a stalemate between Israel and Egypt. Yeah, South Sudan doesn't exist. There is something with this map. Sorry, you know what? Since I'm so kind, I will... No, I won't actually, I can't be bothered. But I will sort that out on the P Street, don't you worry. I think this must be like a map from like 2009 or something. Yeah, Chinese troops push back this, handle thing. It's pretty hard for Indians to like help like defend this position because it's like kind of isolated from India. So yeah, they fully take back Bangladesh, and they enlist a lot of soldiers from Bangladesh to help push India back. I forgot about Sri Lanka. They would join the red team, I think, or blue team, or neither. Yeah, no, we'll just leave them out, honestly. Yeah, what is that? Chat, what the fuck? Moving swiftly onwards. I'll try and update my map for next mapping video. So yeah. This time, like, American forces... Oh, I forgot about Cuba. Oh, wow. America's strong, so, like, yay. And, with the help of French troops from French Ghana, actually, they, take Panama, even though they don't really need help with that. So now America's got control of the... Never eat shit every week. West, they can move all their forces to the east and some this way to help with Japan and South Korea. Speaking of the devil, they start pushing back North Korea and Chinese troops. Japan, actually, there's a surprise invasion of Russia and takes half of that island. And Russia takes all these islands. No, they don't. We're just gonna ignore that. Iran and Russians keep on pushing Turkey. Now, the only troops that are really helping Turkey here are like Montenegro troops, Albania troops, North Macedonian troops, and Greek troops and Bulgarian troops. And the rest are kind of focused on Russia because they see this front as a bigger threat, and they know Turkey can hold off, but like Ukraine can't really hold off against Belarus and Russia. But like Turkey can hold off against Iran and like a fifth of Russia's troops. Yeah, that's strategic situations. We're cooking. Wait, Austria isn't in NATO. I'm dumb. Okay, yeah. It's very back and forth over here, but NATO take Kaliningrad once again. They're pushing back pretty far, actually. And is it realistic? Russia, could they go as far as taking all of Europe? Probably not. I mean, look what you got in the way. I mean, you got Ukraine, and then you have to go past Poland, Romania, all these Baltic countries. Then you have to go past Italy, Germany, Finland, Sweden. And even if you get to there, you still got Norway, Netherlands, Belgium, France, Spain, UK, Italy. So, you know, NATO are cooking something. NATO are cooking. Down here, the stalemate is very broken. As Israel and I think Israel and Egypt have very equal military sizes. So I don't know if it would be quite the stalemate over here. You know, Egypt will push back. Oh, what? Yeah, Egypt will push back. Iran are supplying troops, but they have to go through Iraq and Jordan, or they have to go down this way. So it's quite difficult for Iran to supply troops, and they just mostly focus on Turkey, which they start pushing more and more into Turkey. Now I was like thinking about putting Syria onto the red team, but like there's just no need for it really. They don't like need another war. Like if they're not the most economic country, yeah, they just didn't bother. So yeah. NATO are pushing down here. Their like campaign is trying to make it down and meet up with the Turkish, which they almost do, but then they get pushed back. But that operation still went pretty well. Meanwhile, Russia is officially kicked. Well, they were like on the border, but now they're just, you know, Ukraine is not in sight anymore for Russia. They're getting pushed back. All these countries were liberated. Belarus is fully taken. It's not looking good for Russia. China has to focus on India, because if they let India just take Pakistan, then they can go to Iran, and then they can go like that. But China has to focus on India, so they can't really send troops. North Korea is focused on South Korea. Mongolia and Kazakhstan aren't going to do shit. Afghanistan, I don't really know what their military is like, but I don't think they're going to do shit, or they're just focusing on that. So it's really just Iran, Russia, China, North Korea. Now, if you look at Iran, they have to focus on Turkey. If you look at Russia, well, they're doing stuff already. And then China, they have to focus there. And North Korea, they have to focus there. That's a lot to say. But to sum up, the red team just don't have enough countries. They're too stretched thin. Like, I don't know if Algeria would go on the sides of the red team, and that's why I didn't include him. But I feel like if they did, that would have been a game changer. So I'm sorry if they would have, or like maybe Mexico. So yeah. To sum up, I'm sorry. Okay. Finland start a campaign effort to take St. Petersburg, which it goes successful, and then another to meet up with NATO forces, and they also trying to take over this like nuclear based area for Russia, and they do successfully. Israel start pushing back Egypt more, and if you don't know, Egypt's population is like that, and maybe like a little like on the edge there. That's pretty much it. So all of that, nothing. All of this, nothing. So yeah, Israel take their capital. So all Egypt's population is now down this river. And like down there. So yeah, Israel going very successful now. Egypt might be more strong than Israel, but if you look at the support Israel are getting, Egypt has none basically, and Israel is quite near to NATO, so I'm sure like Greece is sending troops and Italy is sending troops. And Greece will make a tiny landing over here. And yeah, Operation Coastal Destruction for Egypt is taking place, and they do so. So now all Egypt have left is this, oh no, the river's gone. And then Egypt surrender. Now the only reason I rushed that is because there was no point just wasting my time going back and forth. So that would have happened over like a year, because like Egypt was some country and they dab. So yeah. Now Israel can focus sending troops to Turkey, and Israel, like I've said, are quite a strong country. So now, with the help of Israeli forces, they can push back a little bit. And yeah, even taking back almost all of Turkey. And they start pushing into Iran a little bit and taking back Azerbaijan. That's probably not the name actually, but you know. Yeah, I mean, this eventually they do take back all of Turkey, they take back Georgia, and they start pushing into Russia. Now I know I'm kind of over-exaggerating, like, Israel, would they cause that much destruction for the red team? Probably not, and in fact they would push back. But it's the, what's the word, like, it's the fact, the momentum, like, after, like, that was a very good dub for NATO and its allies to pick up taking over Egypt, because now Egypt's in their control. They can just, you know, they have the momentum. All they have to focus now on is Asia and not focus on Egypt or like over here. So now they have the momentum. They did have that push, and you know, Russia did push back, but now Turkey's, you know, Gucci again. To sum up, very successful. Now over here, not going very successful for the Allies. Vietnam is fully taken over. Taiwan, fully taken. That was just expected, you know. They couldn't hold off forever. They did hold off for like 2 years, but and they also get the red team start to push back South Korea and almost take all of it. What? Bruh, can you just, okay, you know what, we'll just leave that on it. Russia will push back on this island and even push back on this northern island that Japan owns, fully taking it. And now Japan and South Korea cannot beat a quarter of Russia's military and China. Like, it's just not happening. Like, I'm making that. Wait, hold on. I don't know, that might, you know, that's probably like a C. I'm not gonna mess. So, yeah, I mean, Philippines, yes, they're helping, but, you know, Philippines aren't flipping America ×2. And obviously Australia is also sending troops, but, you know, these 4 countries cannot hold off against 2 world superpowers, let's put it that way. However, China was focusing on South Korea, so India can push back quite a bit, even pushing a little bit into Chinese territory before the Chinese military can mobilize, as well as taking all of the Korean peninsula. You know what I mean. Oh, India do not go that far, flipping out. Yeah, Pakistan push back India, but India pushes back, but Pakistan you get what I'm saying? Stalemate over here, because like, yeah, I mean, they managed to take back Georgia and Azerbaijan, push into Iran, but eventually there's a stalemate over there. There's also a stalemate in India, like I said. There's a stalemate over here, because, you know, Japan got a very defensive position. It's very good. And there's nothing else going on in the world, and there's a stalemate for about a month. No military, and then they come to an agreement, and it is a peace treaty time, baby. So I will be 28 minutes whilst I come up with this peace treaty. Okay, we've done the peace treaty. I'll just go through who got what. So Finland got St. Petersburg, and this just that's Finland. And then the two countries got a bit out of Russia. Poland got Kaliningrad and quite a bit out of Belarus. Ukraine got quite a bit out of Belarus. They got Kyiv and then that little bit of Russia and then that big bit of Russia. Turkey got a little bit of the Horn of Iran. Israel got all of Palestine and that from Egypt. I'm just gonna check. Have I missed anything? No, I think we're good there. I think we're Gucci. I think we're Gucci. So coming over here. India. So they officially took control of this area. It's no longer contributed, whatever you call it. India took quite a bit of Pakistan up here and then a little bit down here. India got all of Bangladesh, and then China got a little bit of India over here. And then China annexed Taiwan and then got half of Vietnam. North Korea got most of South Korea, and then they made. Actually, no, they would annex all of South Korea. What am I talking about? Yeah, so they've reunited the Korean Peninsula, and then Russia would take this island right there. I think that is it. So yeah, China took Taiwan, a little bit from India. India got quite a bit from Pakistan. Korean Peninsula. So overall, Asia, Russia and China and all that. The red team won in Asia for the most part, except from India. But then in Europe they took quite the loss. Oh yeah, and in America, America annexed Cuba and the country that has the canal. So yeah, that's about it for the video. Please leave it a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. I'll probably do another mapping video because I had a lot of fun with this. So lick my toe.